right, well, let's get started. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to another edition of the monthly Sourcing Science training calls. Today we do have a great presentation in which you can use all the tools immediately. Myself and Priscilla Benavides from the Sourcing Engine team will be sharing with you all of our top used Chrome extensions of 2017. So let's get started. Let me move on to the next screen here. All right, so for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, a Google Chrome extension is a modified browser add-on. They're small programs that add new features that help personalize your browsing experience. Google Chrome extensions only work on Google Chrome. They don't exist on Yahoo, Bing, or any other browser. And for a recruiter, these tools are known to increase productivity, decrease time to hire, and increase quality of hire. They're a wonderful addition to any recruiter's toolkit if integrated properly. And as a recruiter, you have the ability to download as many as you want. But today we are going to go through ones you really need first. So how to get started, you'll need to download the Chrome browser if you don't already have that. You can do this by going to Google itself, adding Google Chrome in your search bar. You'll find the download to Chrome will probably appear at the top or near the top of your search results. Download the software onto your computer. Yes, you can download it onto your IBM computer. And once on, you can either search Chrome Web Store or you can type the URL that you see on this page. You're now ready to search extensions, themes, apps, and games. But of course, today we're only going to be focusing on extensions. So just like any other search, you can enter keywords into the search bar under extensions. So you can see that with number one. Actually, let me show you here. Right, number one. On the landing page, you'll see featured extensions. These are frequently added extensions. Each have a rating, and each will show if the extension is free or has a cost. And that's over here, section number 2. And then today we're only going to be focusing on free extensions. Number 3, right over here, indicates where your Chrome extension icons are kept. And depending on how many you add, some may fall off your search bar. This doesn't mean you've lost them, it just means that they're hidden, but can be accessed by clicking on 3 little dots to the right of the extension icons. I kind of skipped that on this page here, but the little 3 icons would appear right over here where my cursor is. Specifically adding an extension to your Chrome browser is very easy. As I mentioned in the earlier slides, you want to follow these steps. Search for the extensions using keywords and make sure you highlight extensions below the search bar, so right over here. Find the extension on the right side of the search bar. More than one may appear. Chrome is predicting others that you may want to download as well. That's why you'll see more than just the one extension that you're looking for. And then you're going to click over here, Add Extension, and then as you're clicking on the Add to Chrome extension bar, another window will pop up, and just like that, your extension will be added, and it will be placed up here in the extensions icon, browser search bar at the top of the computer screen. Some extensions will require you log on to the actual site using Gmail, LinkedIn, Facebook, or other social networks. But many, don't require that registration. Now for the good stuff. So I'd like to pass our presentation along to Priscilla Benavides, a Sourcing Engine Sourcer. She'll be taking turns with me explaining our top Chrome extension picks and what they do and how to operate. So Priscilla, over to you.
Thanks, Deb, and hello, everyone. The first extension I'm going to be introducing today is Image Search. This one is a great tool to use to find resumes or CVs. What you have to do is type in the name of the position you're searching for plus the word CV or resume in the search bar and choose the search engine or browser where you wanted to focus on. You can choose multiple browsers at the same time as the results will most likely vary from one another. As you can see on the image, we can choose from Google, Yahoo, ImageStock, iStock Photo, Bing, PicSearch, and PhotoSearch. This tool is free of cost and doesn't require a registration to use. In the next slide, we'll show you an example of how it's used. So here's an example of what it looks like to search sales engineer CV focusing on the Google browser. Just click on any result you want to review and view that person's information. As you can see on this example, the system will also give you possible options you might be interested in seeing, just like the actual browser would do, such as engineering job, business sales, undergraduate electrical engineering, engineering graduate, among others. If you wish to view any of those, just click on it and the information will be displayed. On the next slide, we're now going to discuss Google Translator. And this is probably one of the tools that I love the most. This tool is free of cost and doesn't require a registration to use. In my case, it comes in really handy when I'm searching for candidates in a country where they, don't speak the language that I'm familiar with. So to be honest, it works anywhere really. It's not just to review people's LinkedIn profiles or anything like that. Maybe you came across an article that seems interesting, but you have no idea what it says because it's in another language. Well, don't worry, because Google Translator will do the job for you. On the next slide, I'll show you how simple it is to use it. So Golden Line is a Polish web platform allowing members to create business contacts, search for jobs, and find potential clients. But before I even knew that, I had to use Google Translator in order to know what it said. There are several ways to use Google Translator. You can either highlight the text you wanted to translate or click on an option that says translate this page, and it will translate it to whichever language you've chosen as your default language. Over to you, Deb.
Great, thanks. Next, I'd like to talk about intelligent search. This extension allows the user to search Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. I personally enjoy using it mostly on Facebook since I have other favorites for LinkedIn and Twitter. But within LinkedIn search results, you'll find links to public profiles that meet your job title, location, and keyword search criteria. For Twitter, it will match account handles, profiles, bios, and tweets with the specific keywords that you enter into the search bar. For Facebook, though, it will search people by name, job, location, groups that they're associated with, languages spoken, and so much more. This is why I prefer this tool for my Facebook searches. The cost is free and requires no registration. So as you can see in this example, I entered that I wanted to see people who currently have the title of sales engineer who live in New York, and the results were spot on. This was an easy and quick way to build out a list with people found in Facebook. Another tool I use for Facebook searches is HireTool. While I use the free version, there is a paid version that allows the user to uncover more people across more social platforms. For this tool, the user must register and set up an account within HireTool. And as you can see here, using it on Facebook is fairly easy. Just click on the HireTool icon. That's this right over here at the bottom of your screen. And you'll have the opportunity to enter optional keywords and mandatory keywords, as you can see in this screenshot. This is one of the enhancements that Intelligent Search doesn't have. That said, I do like Intelligent Search does have the options to search location and language skills easier, but the results are very similar. So you can see here, sales engineer, I actually put in the mandatory keyword sales engineer, and for FlowServe, for those that support FlowServe, our client, you can see here that I can have now a list of sales engineers that work at FlowServe. Another function of HireTool is their contact finding abilities on LinkedIn. As you can see on this LinkedIn page, HireTool has pulled up my personal email, cell number, and Skype account. So you can see here, this is my LinkedIn professional profile. All I did was click on the HireTool logo at the bottom of the screen, and what you see here is my personal. There's my cell number, and this is my Skype address. I honestly don't know what this Cadillac Jack 20 or 2003 at Hotmail. So obviously HireTool isn't a perfect tool. I don't think any site is at 100%, but it is a very useful tool if you're looking for contact information. I'd like to add another note to HireTool, and that is you can use HireTool on your Google search screen. From Google, you can search only on LinkedIn. However, if you click the HireTool extension icon at the top of the screen, you can search Facebook, GitHub, Google, and LinkedIn. It's very odd, very quirky, but sometimes you have to kind of find different ways to access the HireTool data. Now back to you, Priscilla, to talk a little bit about Hunter.
All right. So Hunter is another great resource to use when you're trying to figure out a company's possible email, as it predicts what employees' emails look like based on common email patterns. This tool is free of cost and doesn't require a registration to use, as it uncovers public data. On the following page, we'll see an example of how it works utilizing Tesla and Apple as the companies. So this one is very simple to use, just like the other ones we've talked about a couple of minutes ago. What you have to do is go to a company's website. In this case, we decided to show Tesla and Apple, as I mentioned before. Once you're there, click on the Hunter icon, and it will display a list that looks similar to this one, where it shows the most common email patterns as well as some employees' contact information. In this case, for both of these companies, it says that the employees or the most common email patterns are first name's initial followed by the person's last name at the domain.com. So that would be tesla.com or apple.com for these examples. I do want to emphasize that Hunter predicts companies' emails, not personal emails, and the results, as Deb said, are not always 100% perfect all of the time, but it's definitely worth trying. On our next slide, we'll talk about another one of my favorites, which is Profit. So Profit is a great tool to use to find people's emails. It's free of cost and requires for the user to register with an email in order to use it. This tool gives out a certain number of trials per day. In my case, it's 14, but it may vary per region. And if you pay for a plan, it will give you some more. Profit helps uncover emails, phone numbers, and social profiles. The next slide in our presentation will show us some examples of where to use Profit. So what you have to do in order to use it is go to one of the sites it works on, such as Indeed, Twitter, and or Facebook. Click on the Profit icon and then click on where it says Find Email. If the system is able to find it, it will be displayed just like the examples shown here. If you look closely at our Twitter example, Profit also uncovered other social networks where the person has a profile. So if you want to, do something for a change, you can maybe reach out to the person via a Facebook message or through Google Plus if the options are available. Our next extension is Contact Out, and on my list, this has got to be my favorite tool to use at the moment, especially since it's one of the few that currently work for me on LinkedIn. As some of you might know, there were several changes to LinkedIn's policies, and now some of the tools that we used to work with, such as Hunter and Profit, no longer work there. So for me, using Contact Out comes in really handy. This tool is free of charge and requires a registration to use. The amount of credits vary per region. For example, I get 50 credits daily, and in order to acquire more credits, there are some purchase options if you feel that that's something that would work for you. On our next slide, we'll show you two examples of how simple it is to use Contact Out. So just like the other ones that we've seen so far, Contact Out is very user-friendly. Once you're on a candidate's LinkedIn profile, just click on the Contact Out icon and it will show part of the information that's available at the time. Just click on where it says Show and it will be displayed using a credit for each time it's used. If you happen to forget or misplace the email you looked for on that same day, you can always click on the Show option again and it will be displayed without taking away your credits. On the next page, we'll talk about Lucia, which is another great option to uncover contact information. So Lucia is another of my go-to tools on a regular basis. It is used to find people's contact information on the web, but it does require for the user to register in order to use it. Since this only gives out a certain amount of free credits per month, I try to use it very wisely. In my case, I often get maybe 5 credits per month. So I try to use it, especially in instances where I've already run out of options. So this one still works on LinkedIn too, which is great. And on our next slide, we'll show you an example of one of the searches I did one of these days. So here's the way to use it. If you are viewing someone's LinkedIn profile and Lucia has found a person's contact information, the Lucia icon will pop up and display part of the contact information it was able to find. In this example, as you can see, it was able to find a personal email, a work email, and a telephone number. Just click on where it says show and it will display the whole content. But what happens if you, let's say, forget how many credits you've used, or you try to use Lucia when you've run out of credits? So a similar pop-up will let you know you've run out of credits and will also give you the option of purchasing a plan in order to obtain the information that you want to search for or you're looking for. May I also add that Lucia works great in the US and certain LATAM countries, whereas in China it doesn't work very well at all. Back to you, Deb.
Great, thank you, Priscilla. So now I'm going to get into a couple of social network extensions. 360 Social is another cool extension. It allows you to view a person's social footprint. It requires no registration and it is free to use. So as you can see here, let's use my LinkedIn profile as an example. By clicking on the 360 Social extension icon right here, the tool will automatically search for all the social networks I'm a member of. It will also search for any public contact information. As you can see here, it found my IBM email address and my IBM telephone number. What I like about this tool is that it can provide you other social networks in which some of your other contact finding tools may work better on. So you have options. Another social networking extension tool that I like to use is Connectifier. It works just like 360 Social, except that it doesn't provide you a huge pop-up window. It just provides you a condensed window that just highlights the social networks that the person belongs to. Again, there's no registration, it is free to use, and it's rather easy. So when you're on my LinkedIn profile again, you can now see the Connectifier window appear at the bottom of my screen. Unlike the 360 Social extension, the Connectifier will automatically appear every time you look at a person's social account. In addition, it shows the hometown in which they live, so you can see that right over here under my name. And if you click on the social icons, it will immediately bring you to the person's other social network home pages. People Finder. So this is the last extension that we're going to be sharing with you today. I'd like to share with you this People Finder. People Finder is a really cool prospecting tool that helps you find leads. In the process of finding leads, the tool also can provide emails and other contact information. It's a free tool, but it does have a premium account with a subscription cost. The premium account allows for the user to create lists to export into an Excel spreadsheet. And it also provides you up to 10,000 searches a month. The free one only allows you to look up 100 searches. So People Finder doesn't require you to be on any social networks. Merely click on the icon and enter the search string right up here at the top here. And you can put in any keywords. It will accept Boolean. With my first example, entering payroll resulted in over 500 results. That said, the real reason I use this tool is to uncover contact information. So as you can see here, entering my buddy Becky's name showed me her title, showed me the company that she worked for, her location, and her personal email. Sorry, Becky. So in summary, there's a multitude of free Chrome extensions that can help you be more productive. Many of the extensions are free and require no registration sign up. But I just want to make sure that what works today may not work tomorrow, so diversify your toolkit. No one extension takes care of all your needs, and new extensions are added often. So check your Chrome Web Store for new tools often. So I'm going to stop here now. This is the completion of our Chrome extension training. I can open up the chat line for questions and answers. You can ask your questions on the chat function on the GoToWebinar platform. I wish I had my same time up, but for those of you that are on Skype, you can Skype me your question, or you can send me a WhatsApp message. But for those that have the chat function, go ahead and start asking your questions through there, and then Hubert will read them off to me. So I do have one question that came through. A couple of months ago, we were told not to use Chrome extensions because within the new LinkedIn policies, we could get our account blocked. Won't that happen while using some of the extension you guys talked about today?
Oh, that's an interesting question. So I could answer that if you want.
Yep, go ahead.
So yes, that was the rumor, but your account won't get shut down. LinkedIn has done a very good job at making sure that their private data is being, it's being kept private and it isn't being scraped. So public data is public data, which is allowed. So that's why most of these extensions are still working, because it's public data. So don't worry.
Great. All right, I also have my same time up here. All right. Okay. So another question that came through is how can I get more Chrome extension information? Okay, so I'm assuming that you're looking for more than what we just provided you today. There's actually two really good sources that I go to all the time. SourceCon is one of them. Actually, they just came out with their 7th edition of Chrome extensions article just yesterday. So they come out every so often with some new Chrome extension articles. Some of them, pertain, to our industry or, what we do as recruiters and sourcers. Some of them are, maybe more focused on, social and branding, but I do follow SourceCon for a lot of really cool, up-to-date new Chrome extensions. There's also a pretty cool guy out there. His name is Dean DaCosta. If you don't follow him, you definitely should. But he has a plethora of the Chrome extensions, and he does share very, free webinars, through the internet. So those are the two go-to folks that I typically follow or read articles from. Any other questions? Let's see. I did have a write-in here that, let's see, hold on one second here, that data.com Connect is another good extension. I'll have to research that. I don't think I've ever used that one, but definitely we'll look into that. And let's see, any other questions coming through? Anything from Hubert? Anything that came through on the GoToWebinar chat function?
No, besides the ones that I've sent you, we do have a few questions about people asking if we'll be following up with the presentation and the recording. That's something that we'll share after the event concludes, so you guys can expect to get that. We do have one question from Denise saying, what search words do you use on the Chrome Web Store to find new tools that are being added?
Mm-hmm. So I would typically, put in the keywords of anything that I'm specifically looking for. So if I'm looking for contact finding tools, I'll put in, email contact, telephone contact, cell phone contact. It depends on what you're looking for in terms of the type of tool or the type extension. But typically in this industry, we're always looking for, personal contact information. So email, phone number, contact, those are the keywords that I typically search in the Web Chrome store. Another question that came through was, I utilize an IBM laptop. When I try to add an extension, I receive this error for the intelligence search, and it is blocked by the administrator. Which very interesting. So for that person, that if you can go ahead and send me a message, via email. I'd like to take a look at this because, again, I use my IBM laptop for all of my Google Chrome extensions, and I don't have that problem. So there may be maybe some sort of setting issue, but I don't understand what that error code is. But we can maybe talk to someone within IBM Tech and see if they know what that error code is. Let's see. What else? Oh, we have another one here. Okay, so just to clarify. So just to clarify, as someone who has never used these tools, you have to have Google Chrome to get these add-ons, but the add-ons are then used directly within other sites such as LinkedIn and Facebook. Yes. So to get the Chrome extensions, you do need to download Google Chrome onto your IBM laptop or your personal laptop, depending on how many computers you use on a daily basis. And then you would actually add the extensions onto your Chrome website or your Google Chrome browser. And then that extension will use, will be used on LinkedIn, Facebook, Indeed, anything that you're pulling up on the internet on Google Chrome. And someone is actually asking for the SourceCon link for the Chrome extensions. I will definitely include that after our training is completed, and I'll make sure that you have that. Any other questions? Okay, well, that was a quick training. I hope you guys got a lot out of it. I'm so happy that we were able to provide this to you today. Again, thank you very much for attending, and we'll get this recording out as well as the PowerPoint as soon as we are able to upload it to the TAO University site. Thank you, and have a wonderful rest of your week.